Good morning. It is indeed a good day. Oh. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing today? Just getting the day started for me. Just checking some comments real quick while we just got lurkers in here. Sorry if I'm not super entertaining. I try to get my responding to comments over with early in the day and just do it once a day. If it's people I like, I'll respond more often, but like people that comment often is what I meant by that. Bing, 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 bing. This coffee's tasting good today. Anybody buying the SpaceX IPO? A lot of interesting stuff going on around that. I am definitely not buying it. I think it's a trap, at least for now. The valuation is way too high. Any of y'all watch Steve Wallace, the stealth camping guy? Oh, hey, Stephanie. Doing pretty good. How about you? Happy to have somebody to talk to. How's life treating you? Doing good. Glad to hear it. Are you a nomad or interested in the nomad life? How'd you find me? It's a good attitude to have. The happier you can wake up, the better your day will be. It might be obvious to a lot of people, but I feel like it's not to some. It's kind of funny, actually. Let's hear it. It's always interesting to see how people find you because, um, that's the algorithm at work, and it's a kind of a thing shrouded in mystery. I have roommates that are a pain, thinking it might be better to live in my car. Um, I love it. It's not necessarily that I love living in a car, it's I love the freedom that comes along with it. That's what I love. I'm able to deal with living in the car to allow myself to have the freedom to be able to do what I want when I want, go where I want, um, work how much I want, live how much I want. So that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, at this point, everybody has to have roommates. You have a 13-year-old dog, that can definitely put a hinder on things, especially an older dog. Um, yeah, I get that totally. I plan on getting a dog, but I'm gonna wait till I get out of the car. I don't think the Prius is not a big enough space to have a dog. I wouldn't want to put a dog in a car like that. I think a van is fine though. That's plenty of room. You can build out a little space for him. When you're in a van, a lot of the time you're in nature too, so you can get them out and take them on walks. And I think that car life is fine for a dog as long as they have a little bit more room than a Prius offers. So SUV's a little bit better. I mean, I've known a lot of people that have animals in SUVs. As long as get them out and keep them moving, and you don't just trap them in the car all the time, I think it could work. Some of the happiest dogs I've ever seen are dogs of people who do YouTube car life. Ooh, being in Florida is rough. That's hot. Um, the thing about this lifestyle is like it allows you to travel around. Um, Clearly, someone who does this wouldn't stay in Florida in the summer. If you have like a job that makes you stay there or something, you have to kind of get out of that first. The whole point of this is to get out and move around. And, in the summer, I go to Oregon or the Pacific Northwest, and it's comfortable there. So it's a super scary thing. I was terrified at first, but I'm so glad I did it. You need to do the things in life that scares you, that makes you nervous, that gives you anxiety. That's usually the right answer. Yeah, that's kinda why I made this channel, honestly, because I was terrified at first, and I was like an anxious mess, and then I took the leap and did it, and over time, it's just kinda all melted away, and I wanna give that to other people if I can. Like, my channel's kinda like questions I had, my how I find sleep spots, that was one of my questions, like, "Where am I gonna sleep?" What do I need? The 7 things you need to live in a car. What do I need to do this? What do I need to be comfortable? So that's kind of where my video ideas come from. I got a video to film today too. Should be out this weekend. It's a very interesting one. Yeah, I know being female can definitely be a little more stressful. There are a lot of females that do it though. Um, just carry bear spray, carry weapons. Dog is not a guard dog. Yeah, I get that too. Especially at 13, even if it was at one point in its life, most dogs after 10 are probably pretty relaxed. But, that's just kind of one of those things too where, if you let being scared because of something that might happen in the future rule your life, then you're just always going to be stuck where you're at. But I totally get it's a totally valid concern. But you can take steps to mitigate, bear spray, weapons, um, making sure when you go to bed that you always have an easy out, um, park in places that you feel comfortable that are lit up. Um, You may not feel comfortable parking out in the middle of nowhere. You may be someone who has to park in parking lots. I don't suggest doing that a lot, but if it makes you comfortable, then that's kind of what you have to do, I guess. Just find a spot that doesn't have security or something. So you can take steps to mitigate the fear of someone can just as easily break in your apartment as they can your car. Like, I'm trying to learn. That's a good way to live. The day you stop learning is the day you start dying. Yeah, if you got any specific questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Yeah, that has happened to me being robbed in my apartment. That's probably a lot of why I wanted roommates. That's probably where a lot of your fear comes from, is that specific situation. Um, my grandmother, when she was young, she's like 93. When she was young, there was like 70 years ago, maybe even longer than that. I think she was like in her teens. She was cooking in the kitchen, and a guy walked into her kitchen. Like she used to live on a farm, and he walked into the kitchen and scared the daylights out of her. And now she's like her whole life for 70 years, she's been terrified of like someone breaking in the house. She's like someone who is like OCD about locking doors and like I mean, locking doors is fine, but like it just got in her head so much, and she became like a person who was just scared of everything. She watches the news all the time. Um, she's scared to leave the house because she thinks she's gonna get like gunned down by a shooter at a grocery store. Like she just lives her life in paralyzing fear because of one interaction she had like 70 years ago. And it's just no way to live, man. Like I get it, but it's just that would be so awful to live that way. I mean, it really is like PTSD, honestly. Um, yeah, I mean, it really is exactly that. Not like an undiagnosed PTSD. But no matter how much we try to tell her that like just let it go, like she can't. It's just ingrained in her DNA. But she's also someone who lived 93 years and never did anything. She was always too scared to try anything. And it trickled down to my mom, who turned into somebody who was always scared to try anything. That trickled down to me, and I turned into somebody like that. And I'm kind of like trying to break the cycle right now of somebody who is willing to put themselves out there and that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's once you start to do it, you realize this is not too bad. Maybe I can do this. Once that clicks in your head, once you get that belief of maybe I can, that's where it all shifts. And also, you can always fall back. It can be temporary. It doesn't have to be permanent. Just because you make the choice doesn't mean you can never go back to exactly the way you're living now. So, what's been the hardest part for you so far? I think the hardest part for most people is the isolation. Um, YouTube's kind of helped with that. you know, just like the interacting like right here helps, the human interaction, but you're alone a lot of the time. That's why a lot of people like me have pets, is that can kind of quell that a little bit. The start wasn't very easy either. Like adjusting is difficult. But once I got through that, I was good. And that was like a week. So it wasn't like I spent like 6 months adjusting or anything. Probably like a week. The first night, I don't know if you saw my last video, but the first night I stayed in my car, I didn't get any sleep at all. I just stared at my ceiling for like 6 hours straight, and I was like, "What the am I doing?" It was just my nervous system like flailing though, like trying to tell myself I made the wrong choice and I need to fall back in line. It was my programming at work. I'm trying to think like what else is difficult, like the loneliness, the adjustment period. Um, I don't mind the space. I mean, a lot of people probably would hate, the amount of space you have, but that's fine with me. I'm not someone who is like claustrophobic or anything. It's kind of funny though, like sometimes if I sleep with my head towards the back, the way the Prius is, the window kind of like slants down. So if your head's like towards the hatch, there's like no headroom at all. It's literally like a foot. So if you're asleep and like something like jars you awake, you can like lift up and hit your head on the thing. And then you kind of like sometimes I like panic. I don't know where I'm at for a second. And I feel like I'm like trapped in something. But then I'm like, oh, I'm just in the car and it all goes away. It's kind of funny. Well, thanks for the advice. We'll be back. All good. I appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, come back and ask any questions. I'll be here for probably another hour or so. I'm gonna go make another cup of coffee. If anybody's got any questions, throw them in the chat, and I'll be glad to answer them. I'll be back in like a minute. Got that brewing up. How's everybody else doing today? Got a lot of lurkers in here today. That's fair. Whenever I used to watch streams, that's all I did was lurk. I was always too scared to type anything in chat. Too scared to put myself out there. Totally get it. That definitely just scared them all away, though. It's fun. I'm gonna check out if my barber buddy is streaming. Where'd he go? I had a guy come in here the other day that was a mobile barber. Pretty cool little gig, and he streamed it too, so I was gonna check him out. Where did he go? Jeff the Master Barber. Oh, he streamed 2 days ago. It's a pretty interesting idea though, getting like a van and decking it out, driving around and cutting people's hair at their house. It's pretty cool. I saw a video the other day too that somebody had like a van that they set up and they had like a music studio inside and they drove it around and had like an open mic on wheels. I thought that was a cool idea too. Whoops. I gotta go get my coffee. I forgot about it. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Nobody in here. Who cares? All right. I'm up 140,000 miles. I need to go to a concert. It's been too long. Anybody buying the SpaceX IPO? Anybody? Stay away. It's a trap. I'm just kind of messing with some comments, just checking back and forth and see if there's anybody asking any questions. I'm not really in the mood to entertain today, to be honest. Just answering questions today. So if you got one, put it in the chat. Solo climbing and camping in a giant fig tree. That's interesting. If you got any questions, just throw them in the chat. Probably hang around for another 10 minutes if nothing happens. I ain't trying to sit here all day for no reason. I got a video to film today. Hey, what's going on, Adam? Did you check out the Slate truck? I did actually look at it. I didn't do a ton of research into it, but like I looked at it, it looks kind of slick. The price is pretty good too. I mean, that's a pretty good price point for a new car. I still think that EV is just kind of too early in its stages, like for me. There's just not enough made in America too. I mean, that's a plus. Um, as someone who drives a Toyota, I don't know. I love Toyotas though. They're just great cars. Well, I think what I was saying is, like, I just don't think I think the charging is not where it needs to be yet. That's just gonna take time. I mean, it takes time to build an infrastructure across the entire country. How's your week going, Adam? I'm filming a video today. What do you think about this idea? I want you to make fun of me. Would you click on that? It's about like learning to deal with judgment. It's kind of like a roast. It's like a roast in YouTube video form. I'm probably gonna head out in a few minutes. If anybody's got any final questions, if you're still there, Adam, appreciate you stopping by. There we go. Slate is announcing pricing later this month. Hopefully, they can keep the base model under 25K. I thought, hmm, I thought they already introduced pricing. Maybe it's just something you said like that was like a guess or something. I don't really know. Taking a break from my day job. I get that. Or do you work remote from home, I guess, or are you like actually at work? I make my own schedule as a territory sales manager. Dope. Making your own schedule is definitely a good thing if you can handle it. Like some people need to be forced to told that they have to work. That's how I used to be. If someone didn't tell me I had to be here at a certain time, I wasn't going. That was just a product of my mindset back then, though. You can never go back to like not making my own schedule now, though. What do you what do you sell if you don't mind me asking? It has advantages. Yeah, I love it. Ocean cargo on ships, like the containers. Very cool. Interesting. I've always thought it'd be cool to get one of those like shipping containers and like bury it in the ground and build a like a bunker out of it. I've seen people do that. It looks cool. You got to own land to do that one day. Kind of the whole point of doing what I'm doing is to set myself up for the future rather than just continue to live paycheck to paycheck until I retire and realize that we don't get Social Security anymore because the government's greedy and they want to cut it. Buy some land and put a home on it. I mean, eventually, yeah. I mean, that's the point. Like, if I'd continued to live the way I did, I would never have the money to buy land, so it would never happen. I can't imagine myself ever having anything bigger than a tiny home, though. I literally don't see the point in having a big house. Like, I just don't get it. Like, all it is status. Like, nobody needs that much room. I just don't really care about status. Hey, what's up? Las Vegas. Where's your S in your name? La Vegas. What's up, man? I didn't realize your channel went to 5K. Yeah, it kind of blew up a little bit. Yeah, you started following me way back in my early gig. You were like one of my first comments ever, to be honest. Pretty sure you commented on my Christmas Eve in Vegas video that has like 50 views. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, we out here just grinding. Next goal's 10K. I'm originally from, oh, that makes total sense. Got it. I'm originally from LA, now in Vegas. LA, Vegas makes way more sense. Get there in no time. It did kind of slow down a little bit, but I'm okay with that. It's kind of like the stock market, right? I'm expecting like a little pullback here before I get the next pop. I just got to keep producing good content. That's all I can do, and content that makes me happy and content that I like, and other people will like it too. So that's kind of how I'm in my mindset right now. Kind of getting away from the gig work side of things though, is because I don't really want my channel to be a gig work channel because I don't want to continue to do gig work. I'm not really worried about the time it takes. All good things in life take time. Generally better for growth too to be slow and organic on YouTube rather than like have one video that pops off and you get a ton of subscribers from. You want the people who are going to come back for every video, so people like content that is honest. Those forced content videos are just blah. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I try to make content that I would want to watch. Um, Sometimes it's a little bit harder to do than you think when you get in your head about it, but that's like what I strive for is to make content that I would watch. I think any creative person, like an artist type thing, like a musician or uh being honest is tough. Not for me. It wasn't always easy for me. Like I get it, but it's pretty easy for me now. I don't know. Like if you don't have authenticity on YouTube, you got nothing. So I mean, it's be authentic and people and attract the people that you like or or the people that you would like vibe with or be fake and attract people that you know what I'm trying to say. How long are you house sitting? Let's see, I got here on like the first. Where's my phone? Let's see. So I've been here for about 10 days. It's the 10th. And I think I texted my sister the other day and she said that they would probably be here on Saturday. So once once they get here on Saturday, I'm gonna hang out for a little bit longer because I haven't even seen them yet. I haven't seen them in like a year. So I'm gonna hang out, visit with them, my sister and niece, and I don't know how long. Probably another week. So I'll probably leave here. I'm ready to go, honestly. I'll probably leave here like the third week, the 20th, 21st, somewhere around there. Head back north. Yeah, I mean, it would be silly to not see them for as long as I have and then immediately leave like right when they get back. I feel like that's kind of an asshole thing to do. So, plus, I want to see them. It's not something that I feel like I have to. I actually want to. Like, I enjoy hanging out with my family. They're all pretty, they're all supportive of what I do. Um, they had questions at first, like any sane person would. But when I explained to them, like, I'm not moving into a car to just give up on life. Like, I'm moving into the car to try to set myself up for the future, try to save and be a minimalist and, I was going to say see the world, but I guess see the country is more accurate because I don't even have a passport right now. And once I kinda got that through their head, they were like, "Alright," and now they see me now, and, like, they're happy for me because they know I'm in such a better place than I used to be. Yeah. Like, they'll be the first ones to tell you how miserable I used to be, and they're just happy that I'm not miserable anymore. So, everyone has a different path. That's something I need to, remember more because 'cause I'm trying to, like, I see what this lifestyle did for me, and I wanna, like, convert everyone, but I gotta remember that not everyone wants to do this or can do this or would benefit from doing this, so that's something I need to remember and respect. Not everyone some people figure out what I figured out a long time ago, and they have the life they want. I'll get there one day. Respect to what you do, man. Hope the channel keeps growing. Hey, man, it's growing because of people like you. I appreciate you. I'll probably be back in Vegas at some point. I really enjoyed my winter in Vegas. It's a great place to spend winter for nomads. I feel like Nevada and Arizona are like a nomad's winter paradise. In Southern California, obviously. I left LA about 7 years ago. You're still close though, so you probably got family and go back every now and again, I would imagine, right? I made that trip from Orange County to LA, and I was like shocked by how quick it was. You don't really realize how close they are, actually. I would do a 3, 4 hour commute. I was tired of the traffic at the time. I was losing in that city. Yeah, I get that. Like, as somebody who does gig work, I can't imagine like doing gig work in like downtown LA. That would be it'd give me so much anxiety to do that. I don't even see how you make money in that traffic. I guess living there, you kind of know how to get around, so it helps. I love me some San Diego, though. I'm not a huge fan of LA. Yes, we go back all the time. My wife's family is still there. Traffic is nice going to LA on the weekends since everyone is coming to Vegas. Yeah, I see that. I also didn't realize how close LA and San Diego were. I was expecting, because like LA to San Francisco is like, I'm just kind of taking a guess here because it's been a while since I've done that, but I think it's like 5 to 6 hours. And I just kind of assumed like LA to San Diego would probably be about the same, but it's much quicker. It's an awesome drive too, along the coast there through like that military area. I enjoyed that little drive. Yeah, with no traffic down the 5 is nice. Absolutely. I've seen videos of people, um, that do, like, the blacked out stealth runs where they go from, like, Vegas to LA or LA to Vegas, like, through the night with, like, no lights, and they just do, like, 120 the whole way and do it do it in, like, an hour or something stupid. Those guys are nuts. There's people that do, like, complete cross country trips like that. There's I forget what it's called, but there's, like, a record for going from, like, New York to LA or something. The guy with the record averaged, like, over 100 miles an hour the whole way across the country. It was nuts. Here I am just in my yeah, here I am just in my Prius trying to go the speed limit without getting run over. When I was younger, I got pulled over doing 100 on the interstate in my girlfriend's car, and the guy gave me a warning, and ever since that day, like, mad respect to that cop for giving me a warning because that really did change the trajectory of my life. Like, I was so, like, happy that he gave me a warning that I just kinda stopped speeding altogether. I was like, um yeah, I don't know, it's kinda weird. I mean, I still speed, but I've never really gone that fast in a car, at least. I had a bike for a few years a motorcycle that I went fast on, but it's, like, impossible not to go fast on a motorcycle, though. If you're doing 70, it feels like you're sitting still on a motorcycle. Yeah, like, when because I'm in, like, the Bay Area right now, which is pretty similar to LA, at least for traffic purposes, and I just get over as far as I get it, like, the 2nd lane to the right, and I just put cruise on and just let them go, man. People are in too much of a hurry, man. I just it's too hard to enjoy life when you're always in a hurry. I don't even know if my Prius could go 80, maybe downhill. It's kinda funny, you go out to just the middle of the desert, and there's, like, some 85-mile-an-hour speed limits in a few places around the country, and if I'm going uphill, I can't even hit 85 in my car. Like, I got it on the floor, and I'm doing, like, 83. It's pretty hilarious. That's why you have high insurance rates here. That and corporate greed. You would If you knew how much I paid for car insurance, your jaw would probably hit the floor. That's so stupid. I mean, I don't care, I'll just tell you. I pay 100 and, like, 45 bucks a month for full coverage on my Prius, but I also have gig insurance. I carry gig insurance just for peace of mind. Damn, you pay a lot then too. Like, I'm telling you that it's high. Like, there's no way I should be paying that much. Like, I'm not driving a Corvette. I don't have any I haven't got a ticket in 20 years. I haven't been in an accident in 20 years, since my early 20s. Like, my driving record is completely perfectly clean, and I still pay 145 bucks a month. 385 for 2 cars is kinda crazy too, man. Insurance should be like 50 bucks, 75 bucks if you're in a Prius with a good driving record. It was 290 a year ago, keeps going up. And same, I have a clean record, no accidents, no tickets. Maybe I'm just stuck in the 90s or something, I don't know. But the reason I say that is because before my grandmother quit driving, she was like 90 years old or in her late 80s when she stopped driving. And her insurance was like 45 bucks a month. And she was 90. Like, why is a 90-year-old's insurance a third of what mine is? And we were both Progressive too, so it's not like we were different companies. Like, we were both the same company. It's the insurance company I have. I'm definitely I need to look around and get some new quotes. Also thinking about removing the gig insurance too, because now that I'm monetized on YouTube, I'm not really doing it as much. Um, it kind of, it's only like 30 extra bucks though, so it feels like silly to get rid of it until I actually for real just quit completely. When you do gig work, uh do you need to pay for a business license? No, you don't have to have any kind of special license or anything. Um, yeah, no. You don't need any kind of like CDL or anything like that, or you're supposed to carry gig insurance, which I do, but most people probably don't. I guess at least for like the food stuff. Because there's people that do gig work that's like delivering like medical supplies and stuff. You may need something for like that. You may need some kind of something extra for that. Do, 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 do. I was thinking of driving Uber once in Vegas, but it wanted a business license. I've never signed up for doing rides where I like have people in the car. Maybe it's something specific to that, but I've never heard of that before. I think it was like 200 for the year. Maybe I read it wrong. Yeah, honestly, I can't really tell you. I've never heard of anybody saying they needed any kind of special license to do rideshare. Maybe it's something if you start your own LLC, you have to pay for some kind of thing, but you don't have like a lot of people do start an LLC or a there's another thing, I forget what it's called. It's another type of business and then run their taxes through like an LLC or a business, but you don't have to do that with gig work. You can just file as like a single person as well. There's pros and cons to both. Maybe that's what it is. I can't do rideshare though. I only have one seat in my car. The driver's seat's the only seat that I kept in the car, so I can't do rideshare. Imagine going to pick somebody up and opening the back door and there's just a bed there. Be kind of weird for them, huh? So where you headed once you leave the house after family time? I don't know exactly yet. I do know that I'm going to be going north since it is June. Um, Most likely I'm going to end up in Montana, Wyoming, Dakotas, the few states that I haven't been to yet ever. Glacier National Park is on the list. Do some summertime camping. I'm thinking about ordering a drone before I leave here, so I think it'll be cool to go to like Glacier National with a drone. I know it's you're probably not allowed to fly drones in most national parks you aren't. But if I think if you just don't fly it too high and do it quickly, it's probably fine. I don't really understand why you're not allowed to fly drones in national parks. I guess it's maybe so you don't lose them and create trash in the park or something. That's the only thing I can think. Nice. Is it much cooler? It will definitely be cooler in Montana than it is in California. That's a given. Yeah, in the summer, I try to stay in areas that are close to like high elevations. Yeah, dude. I had to leave Vegas in March. I can't imagine being there in June. I try to stay in places that are close to like elevation, like in Bend, Oregon, the place I love. One of the reasons I love it is there's a Mount Bachelor's like 15 minutes away. So you can drive 15 minutes from the city and you get go up like 2 or 3 thousand feet in elevation, and it's always 10 or 15 degrees cooler. So if it's 80 degrees in Bend when the sun goes down, it's like 65 at Mount Bachelor. So if it's too hot, I just drive 15 minutes and I'm comfortable. And it's like mid-August. Like it never gets cold or hot at Mount Bachelor. Like it's year round, like below 70 on the mountain. There's another nomad I follow. He's going from Florida to Alaska right now. I want to make that trip. I think that would be awesome, but I don't have a passport, so until I get one, it's kind of out of the question. That could be a cool idea to like end the Prius journey. Whenever I feel like I want to upgrade and I buy whatever I'm going to upgrade and start building it out, maybe I'll take a final hoorah in the Prius to Alaska. That's a crazy, especially from Florida. That's an insane trip. It's probably like 5, 6,000 miles, maybe more. What's his name or her? What's their name? No, I don't know yet. Um, there's a lot of stuff on the table. Escaping normal life. You know what? I think I've heard of that person. I watch a lot of car lifers as well. The name sounds familiar. But yeah, so, maybe like a truck with like a shell is on the table. Some kind of like maybe like a ProMaster that I can build out's on the table. Um, it's kind of one of those things I just need to stew on over time and I'll figure it out. Just don't rush into it. I'm gonna let me see if I'm following this person. Oh, there they are. Yeah, I think I've seen this guy. I'm not following though. I'll throw him a sub. I feel like we are pretty on the same wavelength, so if you like him, I probably will too. I feel like I want to get some better equipment though. I don't want to make an Alaska trip with only my cell phone as my way to make content. Just seems like such a waste. Interesting. I mean, it can work, but I'm just saying making an Alaska trip without like a drone, I feel like is crazy. Like, you know how awesome drone shots you could get on the Alaska highway? I'm not saying I need to buy like a $5,000 like Sony camera or anything. Just like maybe get a drone. Um, Maybe just that, honestly. I don't really want to get a piece of junk though. I want to get a decent one. You get what you pay for. I'm gonna go check on the dogs. They're barking at something. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, there's some barkers, man. That Malinois barks at everything. You just saw the average weather in Alaska summer. It says 50 to 70 degrees. That is that is what you want when you're in a vehicle. 50 to 70 is like absolutely perfect. 70 might even be a little too hot, I'm gonna be honest. If there's a breeze, that's fine, but I prefer like mid 60s. Yeah, they get along. They play fight a lot, but I've never actually seen them like get in a real fight. But I'm sure they probably have before because I'm not always around here, obviously. So they're pretty good there. They're both boys. One's a Malinois and one is a like a mutt. I don't know what Tucker is. Oh yeah, from your last video, why can't you walk them together? Um, the Malinois is just really strong, and he's not well trained. So if I'm walking him and he sees a dog or something, I need both hands to like keep him from breaking free. So I just decided I probably could have walked them together, but at the same time, I was also filming. So I got like my camera in one hand and I'm like paying attention to what I'm doing and looking at my script. And I didn't want like two dogs like while I'm doing that as well. So I just walked them separate. Yeah, if I was like filming and like not paying attention and he saw like a little dog, there's a very good chance that he could snap the rope out of my hand because he is just super strong. And if that happened, then I would have Tucker still. So kind of just a safety precaution. Probably would have been fine, but just avoid it if I can. Rocky's damn near 100 pounds. He's massive. He's a male Malinois. Malinois are supposed to be super smart too, but they're really only as smart as the person who trains them. And my sister and her husband really didn't put any effort into training him, so he's kind of just like, "Brr." It was hilarious though the other day. I was sitting in the living room. My sister's got like a little keyboard, and I was just messing around on the keyboard. And the neighbor across the street was washing his truck, and so he was out there washing his truck, and then I heard heard him yelling, and I was like, didn't really think much of it. And then I started hearing dogs barking, and I just looked over my shoulder, and Rocky and Tucker were standing in the middle of the road out front. And I was like, "Oh my god!" Like they're in the fence in the backyard. And I was like, "What is going on?" So I ran out there, I grabbed them, I put them back in the fence, and I called my sister, and I was like, "I don't know how they got out," because she saw them on the camera. Um, I was like, "I don't know at all how they got out." And so she went back and watched the camera, and Rocky, the Malinois, noticed the guy washing his truck. He jumped up, and the latch on the gate is like over 6 foot tall. He jumped up and opened the latch with his nose and then pushed the door open and went out. So now I have to like keep the back gate locked up all the time because now he knows how to get out of the back gate. So interesting. Did your sis go on vacation? Her and my niece moved to New York for my niece does Broadway stuff. She's like a singer and does plays and stuff. So they moved to New York to try to get her more exposed to like real Broadway because there's not really that kind of stuff in San Francisco. Like if you want to do Broadway, you got to go to New York. Really, it's just how it works. And so she went out there for. They've been out there for I think like a year, and they've decided to take a break and come back to California. My niece kind of wants a little break from the grind and just be a kid, so they're moving back is what's going on. So her husband drove across the country. they're getting like a truck, and then I don't know when they may be leaving like today or tomorrow. They're supposed to be here on Saturday, so they're driving back across the country, and that's why I'm here. That's so cool, and what a coincidence. My niece is moving to New York in August for a fashion job. Man, it's a small world. Yeah, my niece is she's still pretty young. She's still in school. She's like it's kind of sad. I don't know exactly, but she's like 13 or 14 or something like that. She's been doing it like almost her whole life. She's been in like entertainment. She's very talented. She just kind of at a point right now where she just wants to be a kid, and I totally get that. I'm excited for them to get here. 5 nephews and 3 nieces. You got me beat. I got I got two of each. My brother has a boy and a girl, and my sister has a boy and a girl. Became an uncle at 9. I became an uncle really early too. My sister is 5 or 6 years older than me, and she had a kid really young. She had a kid when she was like 18 or 19. So I was in my teens. You were younger than me. I think I was like a freshman or sophomore in high school when I became an uncle. So like 16 probably. I didn't really become an uncle until I was older though, because I was still a dumb kid then. Yeah, I'm 41 with no kids. Have a 2 and a 4-year old. Very cool. For the longest time, I was against having kids, but I feel like I'm in a headspace now to where I could probably do it. But having a relationship on the road is tough as well. Who knows? Maybe starting this channel will lead me into one day finding the mother of my children. I don't know. I'm not against it, but that's not really what I'm looking for either. So I think it's fun. I think it's actually good to have kids late. I think the idea of having kids when you're in your early 20s is a little bit crazy. Not many people know who they are at 20. And I feel like you have to know who you are 100% before you bring someone else into this world. We enjoyed life and traveled, then we wanted to have kids later in life. Respect, like totally. Same wavelength as me, really. Like most people aren't grown-ups in their early 20s, no matter how much society wants you to believe you're an adult at 18. Just personally from my life too, like my mom and dad had started having kids when they were really young, and it just really turned into having a dad who like resented us because we like basically ruined his life. Like that's kind of how like my father was. He was like an absent father, always just like annoyed with us kind of thing. And like you could just tell like he resented the fact that he had kids too young and didn't get to enjoy his life. And I know things probably would have changed, but if they would have for us, maybe I wouldn't be here if that was the case. But if they would have just waited longer, then to figure out who they were, then it wouldn't have turned out like it did. I mean, that story's kind of like a story old as time, though. That's not specific to me. There's plenty of people out there like that. They just have kids too young and they resent their children because they didn't get to live the life that they should have been able to, and then they just take it out on the kids. Um, it happens a lot. I've kind of dealt with it over the years. Mhm. At least I've tried to. I feel like that's a lot of the boomer generation, though. That's like, I don't know, they're the type of generation that thinks if I put a roof over your head and food in your mouth, then I was an amazing parent. No, you weren't. Like that's the bare minimum of what you need to do. Like the dumbest animals on earth know that they need to protect their children and feed them. Like being a good parent as a human involves setting your kid up for success. That's how you become a good parent. You don't become a good parent just by keeping them alive, you know? I don't know. But that generation thinks we owe them everything for feeding us. And it's kind of sad. The only thing you can do is really just make sure not to pass that on to your kids. Be the one that breaks the cycle, and we're good. Yeah, I agree. Glad you got out of that headspace you mentioned in the last video. Yeah, me too. It's not a fun way to live. When you're in that headspace, though, you like convince yourself that that's all there is and that's all there ever will be. It's tough to get out of. It took like years of like smashing motivational stuff into my face before I like started to change. It's like Inception, right? You have to get the idea planted in your own head, and I don't know. I feel like that's kind of what I did. I just like exposed myself to like the I don't know what I'm trying to say, to be honest. It's like my own type of therapy, exposure therapy. You got any investments, LA, Vegas? You invest in the stock market at all? I was gonna say I'm having my first green day in a while today, but now I'm a little bit red. It's all good though. We're in a healthy pullback right now, I think. You don't. Fair. I didn't for a long time, but I feel like not investing is a big mistake that I don't know how that works, and that's by design. They don't want you to know how it works because that's how people get wealthy, and they don't want wealthy people. Um, they want people they can control, so they make it seem scary. Like, oh, you can lose money. No, you lose money by not investing. Because inflation goes off at a rate higher than you make money. So if you don't put your money in something that can grow, then you're constantly taking pay cuts. Do you use a specific site? I use Charles Schwab as a broker. If you start looking into it, though, just make sure you spend a lot of time learning with fake money because it is a mistake jumping right in with real money. You got to learn how to separate your emotions from money as well, which is a really tough thing for people to do. It took me a couple years to get to the point where I could see a huge hit and not feel anything. Um, yeah, I mean, because they try to tell you too, like, oh, if you don't start early, there's no point. I mean, sure, it's way better to start early, but it's still better to start now than to never start. It's kind of like when was the best time to plant a tree? Like 20 years ago, but the second best time's today. Kind of the same thing. Especially for someone our age, I truly believe that in 25 years, when we get to like retirement age, Social Security will not be here anymore. Or it'll be a fraction, a remnant of what it is now. So not having investments and like someone our age banking on just Social Security, I feel like is not a great idea. My brother uses Acorn. That's a cool little thing. That's the one that just like connects to your bank, and then like when you spend like 42.75, it will throw the extra quarter into like investments. So anytime you like spend money, it'll dump like the extra change into investments. That's pretty cool. I don't use that though. I just invest like actively. So, but honestly, like something like Acorn is better than not investing. It's kinda like a 401k too. It just goes into, like, indexes that are safe. I invest more in, like, high volatility things. So, like, I have spikes where I had a spike a while back where my whole entire account went down 10%, in one day. But I've also had days where my account went up 20% in a day. So, it all works itself out. You just gotta not panic on the days that it goes down 10%. That's how people lose money is they don't sell when it goes up, and then when it goes down, they panic and sell, and they just consistently lose. Oh man, with the economy right now, how has it been? You'd be surprised how unlinked the economy and the stock market are. Um, the economy's in the tank, the stock market's at all-time highs. They really don't have any correlation to each other. I mean, they do have some. I'm not gonna try to pretend like they don't have some, but like people think they're like a direct one for one correlation, but it's not true at all. The market is forward looking. The market doesn't care about today at all. The market cares about what the future is going to be like. So, doesn't matter if the economy's shit right now. If they think it's going to get better, then that means good news for the market. That's kind of like that's kind of like how my mom thinks. Um, she has like no clue about the stock market at all. She's kind of somebody who just been in the dark her whole life and has been conditioned to think that investing is scary, um, rather than investing is what's going to save you. But she's always somebody who's like, if the stock market's good, the economy's good. She thinks there's like a one for one um, correlation to those things. And if nothing else comes from it, it's just something new you can learn. You never know. You might be like, this is very interesting. Plus, a new rule just went into effect like this week that it's called PDT, the pattern day trader rule. Um, you used to have $25,000 to be able to day trade, but now they've bumped that down to like 2,000. So day trading is open to like a bigger pool of people now. But like I said, um, day trading is not easy, and you will lose money if you just jump into it and not know what you're doing. So just be careful. I've been pretty consistently studying it for the past 2, 3 years now, and I feel like I'm not even close to understanding it. No, I don't like crypto. Um, I have a few $1,000s in crypto, but it's literally just in an account that I deleted from my phone, and I'm just gonna hold it for like 10 years or something and just see what happens. If I lose 3 grand, it's not a big deal to me. So I feel like crypto is more of a gamble. The stock market's not a gamble. The stock market, while it can crash, will always recover. Um, I guess until it doesn't, but if you look at the past, it always has in the past. So I just don't trust crypto. The like how it was, especially like Bitcoin, how it was created is too like mysterious. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin was created by the US government and they're just using it as a way to like launder money and they control everything. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. So just saw the Bitcoin, it was 123 in October and now it's 62. Yeah. It's the same price it was 5 years ago. Like I said, I kind of fell into the hype at the beginning and I bought some and I thought it was cool. And now my crypto's down like 70%. Like I didn't buy at the very top, but I bought pretty close to the top. So I'm just holding it forever. And if I lose 3 grand, it's not the end of the world. It makes more sense to hold it because I don't need the 3 grand right now than to sell it for a 70% loss and take the $1,000 I have left and just throw it in a bank account somewhere. So I think a lot of the money that was to be made in crypto has already been made. I could be totally wrong though. I'm not going to sit here and say like I know anything. Crypto Bitcoin could be 150,000 a year from now, and it really wouldn't surprise me. If you ever want to make crypto plays, like you can just buy stocks that are like crypto adjacent too. Sometimes that's safer than just straight buying the crypto. Like you can invest in like companies that mine Bitcoin, or companies that data centers that or energy companies. You can invest in, people say like during the gold rush, the people who got rich weren't the people who found the gold. They were the people who sold the shovels. So like if you invest in like energy companies and data centers, then like those are required to farm the Bitcoin. So you can kind of invest in crypto adjacently through an energy company rather than putting your money right into Bitcoin. So sometimes a little bit safer because even if crypto fails, like it doesn't necessarily mean the energy company is going to fail because we still need energy for AI and all that stuff. So I did gamble more a few years ago. I did okay, but I stopped since the kids were born. Yeah, I used to do some gambling every now and again, but I don't know, man. I just don't like it. I don't like flipping a coin to win or lose money. Whenever I did gamble, I liked like bubble craps doing like strats or stuff that was like that. I did play some slot machines as well. The thrill of hitting a bonus is fun, but you're just gonna lose more often than not. So you need to look at it as like entertainment rather than like a way to make money. There was a while I was in Vegas where I was watching a bunch of like the progressive slot people and trying to figure out how to like find the slots that are the ones that have like progressive, right? Where they have to hit at a certain point and trying to like get the ins and outs and learn what slot machines, but it just really seemed fake to me. I'm sure there are people out there that do okay, but the casinos are also going in a different direction away from progressive because it's not good for the normal tourist to come in and just lose and then have the person swipe in behind them and then hit the jackpot right after they get up. That's just not good for that makes people not want to come back to your casino. Like that makes people mad. So the casinos don't want that. Those are just pure luck. I mean, there's definitely some machines out there that you can make money on consistently if you know how they work. But they're getting fewer. Like they're starting to remove those machines from the casino because they don't want them in there anymore. The casinos don't. I used to hang out at the Red Rock Casino a lot when I was in Vegas. I hung out in Summerlin, and I would because there's a wing stop and a Panda Express in there. There's like a food court, so I would hang out and take orders from that food court. and sometimes I would be walking around during the day just waiting on an order, and I would just look for machines, and then I would kinda watch people. Yeah, Red Rock was my favorite casino in Vegas. I would just watch people, and you could spot the people who were, like, progressive slot people. You know, you would see them like, peeking around the side, watching somebody on a certain machine, and then, they're, like you see them like, inching forward, waiting for people to get up, and then they get up, and they're, like they, like, jump at the thing. I live near some oh, Spring Valley, very cool. I worked a lot in Spring Valley too. My favorite was, like, Summerlin, Southwest, um, near the IKEA. I know where the IKEA is. Right off the freeway the IKEA you can see off the freeway. And then the Southwest area, kinda down by where that, what's it called? Mountain Explorer Park, where there's the butte out there that you can hike on. There's, like, an Albertsons and a Planet Fitness right there. I hung out there a lot too. Wow, that's the only one in the entire city? That's crazy. Yep, I drove by that every day while I was there, pretty much. I also like the Durango a lot. Obviously, I stayed away from the Strip. I just I went the right when I got to Vegas, I stayed on the Strip for about a week as just being like a tourist, and then I was like, "Okay, I'm good," and then I just never went back. I imagine that's kinda how most locals are too, like, people kinda think, like, locals hang out on the Strip, but locals avoid the Strip at all costs from what I've seen. Yeah, the Durango is super nice too. You might even I think the Durango is, like, a nicer casino, but I like the area of the Red Rock better, like, the Summerlin area was better for, like, my work than the Durango area, but as far as, like, actual casinos, I think the Durango's a little nicer. Yeah, I feel like that's how it works, like, when people come in town to visit, they're like, we gotta go to the Strip," because that's the touristy attraction, you know? Makes total sense. While I was there, I took a few orders that went to the Strip just to see how bad it was, and I was surprised it wasn't too bad. I think it gets a worse rap than it is, like, traffic-wise and stuff. I was able to kinda get through there pretty easily, but it's not something I wanted to do all the time. I'll be right back, I gotta use the restroom. Oh, man, that coffee ran right through me. When you do orders on the Strip, do they have to come down and pick up the food? Um, do they have to? Um, I guess not really. Do they should they? Absolutely. There's no way that I would ever, like, go hunt someone down in a casino. If, like, I got to drop off an order at, like, a casino on the Strip and they didn't, like, answer the phone and they weren't outside waiting for me, I would probably call support and have them cancel the order. Because that's ridiculous to have to make. Because where are you gonna park? You can't just park out front. That's only for pickup drop off. Like, they won't let you just park there and leave your car, so most parking garages are like 20, $30 to park there. Like, that's more than I would make on your order. The only orders I ever did dropping off on the Strip, all of them answered and came down, and they were pretty smooth. I never had any issues. It was actually those orders are in a video somewhere. I think it's the mm, like video number 2, the one where I do like a week of gig work in Vegas. I took an order to the Strip in that video. I think it was I don't remember the name of the casino. I did have to hunt somebody down in the Red Rock one time, but I'm fine. I'm fine with that. It's not on the Strip, so you can just pull in and park and walk in. It's not a big deal. It was hilarious though. Um, so I was sitting in the parking lot of the Red Rock and I got an order from it was the sushi place there. I forget what it's called. It's not important. But the sushi place there. So I picked up the order and then I hit, pickup completed and I was trying to see where I needed to go. And the ping was still on the Red Rock. I was like, "What the heck?" I thought my app was, like, bugged out or something. So I was, like, trying to figure it out, and then eventually I looked in the notes, and she was like, "I'm staying at the Red Rock. I'll meet you at the entrance." So she ordered food from the Blue Ribbon. Yeah, that's it. The Blue Ribbon Sushi and Bar. She ordered from the Blue Ribbon, and then she was staying in the Red Rock, so I walked to the Blue Ribbon, picked up her food, and then walked to where you check in at the Red Rock, and she was sitting at the table right there, and we had a good laugh about she had no clue the sushi place was inside. She was like apologizing to me that she wasted my time, and I was like, "No, it was very quick for me, so thank you." A little sunburn yesterday. I'm trying to get rid of this farmer's tan. She tipped pretty well too, yeah, because she didn't know that the order I was literally walking the order just across the Red Rock to her. I mean, it wasn't great. I made like 10 bucks, but I mean, 10 bucks in 20 minutes, I'll take that. Maybe even less. It might have been like 15 minutes. Plus when I dropped it off, I was still sitting at the Red Rock ready to get a new order. So that's one important thing about doing gig work is where you end is close to more restaurants. So you don't have to like double your miles to come back. Hey, Bella, what's going on? Good to see you. Happy Wednesday to you. It's a good day. I was just showing him I'm trying to get rid of this farmer's tan, so I put my sleeves up yesterday and I got torched. It's not too bad. Could be worse. This one's not as bad. It doesn't look like on the Are you off work for the day, Bella? Yeah. I feel like someone who does car life is always gonna have like the farmer's tan from hanging their arm out the window. I got I got the ankle sock tan too. My foot is so white. Work, taking a breather. Well, I'm glad you come hang out with me on your breather. Me and me and LA Vegas been chatting for a while about Las Vegas. It's good though. I need to get rid of it. I'm gonna film a video today. The title is "I Want You to Make Fun of Me." It's like a roast, a YouTube roast, and how to deal with um, judgment. It's fun chatting with you too. I feel like I got some pretty cool regulars in here. That's the thing about just trying to be yourself, though, is you attract people who are naturally going to be, like you. So I think it's interesting. I was just sitting out front, kind of doing my relaxing thing, and it just popped in my head. That's usually how the best ideas work for me. Should probably be out this weekend. It's going to be a pretty easy thing to film. Just talking head, not much production. It's more about the message than the video, really. So I think that'll be a good follow-up to the stigma video that came in second on the poll as well. I like the talking videos. That's what popped up in my feed when I found you. Yeah, I mean, I like them too. They're easier to film for sure. I mean, I can knock out like a talk as long it takes a while to script, but once you get the script out and how you want to organize it, it's pretty easy to knock it out real quick. I kind of just wing it and just use my first take as well. At first, I was trying to like make everything perfect, and I was just like, this is just kind of weird. I'm just gonna wing it. I'm back. Had to get more coffee. I'm at work too. Welcome back, Mike. I had my 2 cups already, and they just ran right through me. It's a small world. Mike lives in the area that I used to hang out in Vegas. I guess that's how he found me though, so maybe it's not too small. I have 3 monitors at work, two for work, one for YouTube. Yeah, when I was living in Kentucky, I had my triple monitor set up too, the laptop, and then I had a dual monitor set up. That's what I use for trading because I day traded for a little while, but I just, I don't know, just kind of fell out of love with doing it. Kind of fell more into like investing than trading. You got to be so active to day trade. Takes up too much time. Plus, when you're on the West Coast, the market opens at 6:30 in the morning. Have more passive investments. Maybe someday want to try futures since it doesn't take as much time as options. Yeah, I don't know a ton about futures. I mean, I know what they are, but I haven't done it too much research. The only person I've ever really watched about futures is Tori Trades. I don't know if you've ever watched her, but she does like she trades platinum and oil futures. So I've learned a little bit from her, but yeah, I kind of just do passive investments too. I'm invested in AI and drones and um, kind of some small companies that I think are going to do well in the future, but they're mainly just holds for now. Yeah, I've watched Tori a lot. I also found a channel called Peachy Investor. Yeah, I've seen her too. That's really good for explaining the concepts. Very cool. Yeah, me and Mike were talking about investing a little bit as well. I was trying to kind of give him the little rundown that, like, they try to convince you that investing's scary, but the scary thing is not investing, in my opinion, as far as setting yourself up for the future. It's kind of funny. I got into investing through Ross Cameron, um, but eventually figured out that you can't really trade like him, especially at the start. Like, the reason he's successful is because he has a massive following of people that buy behind him when he buys. So it's like impossible to do what he does unless you have people that buy after you. But yeah, that's where I started. Yeah, it's a time game. There is also something to say about investing in the right companies at the right time as well, but it is definitely a time game. Nice chatting with you. Have to get ready for this boring meeting. Appreciate you hanging out, Mike. Good luck in your meeting, brother. I'm more in broad indexes right now. Eventually, with more capital, I'll start doing more company research and targeting investing, but I have more to learn. I think it should be the opposite. I think when you have less capital, you should take more risk. And when you have more capital, you should take less risk and do index funds. Um, but I totally get just if you're just investing in index funds. I'm literally in none because I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I wasted 20 years and I need to take a risk right now. And it's also an amount of money that would really suck if I lost it, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. So, being risky with your investments, as long as you're willing to lose that money, I think is okay. I try to stick with like mid caps. I'm not like a penny stock person. I have a few like stocks under a dollar. But usually when I do that, it's like, 3 to 5% of my account rather than, some of my more I have one stock right now that's like 35% of my account, but I have conviction in the stock. I think it's like they're making moves and I think they're going to be double or triple what they're worth. So I'm allowing myself to take a little more risk on that. Yeah, I'm looking to deploy some into growth index funds like VUG in the near future. Yeah. Um, is that kind of like VOO? Is that they're probably pretty similar? I guess they're both just probably index funds. Right now, I'm kind of just like I'm really kind of anxious about this stock market, so I have invested like most of my account is in assets now and not cash. But as it pops, like I'll sell off, a portion of my position just to get more cash for the next dip. So I still am actively buying and selling, but I also have like chunks of positions that I'm not willing to sell as well. I'm just trying to like bring down my average cost. You know, if it pops a couple dollars, it's always going to correct generally. So similar, it's Vanguard has more weighted risk. I gotcha. DCA, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. There's a company right now that I think is going to be pretty big. Veritone. It's a like what they do basically is they're collecting data and they use AI for like security. And I think that like so if you're like in New York, all the traffic cameras, right? They're trying to use AI to like scrape all that information rather than using people. So eventually, AI is going to be doing like security, going to be taking in feeds from security and like stuff like that. I think it's going to be a pretty big company, but right now they're getting sued right now because of some kind of like false information on like a pop and some investors lost money and their stock is like going down a lot. But I still think the company's got a good future. So I'm kind of DCAing into that like a little bit at a time, not a huge position. I'm not going to take too much risk on it. But if I can get it right now for really cheap, then I think it could be like five, six times what it's worth, in a couple years, maybe even more. So, you know, maybe I can turn $1,000 into 10. That'd be cool. It is taking a risk though. Just buying into a lawsuit is very risky because I don't know what happened. Like really, like I know what I read, but who knows the real story? So I'm willing to lose that initial investment to take the risk to maybe 10x. I think drones are a good investment right now though. Like drone defense. I feel like it's kind of hedging your bets because if this war continues and it affects the economy in a bad way, like it continues to affect the economy in a bad way, and the market doesn't look like it's going to be good in the future. I feel like having investments in drones is kind of a hedge against that because if the market goes down as a whole, I feel like we're going to need more defense, so that might go up. You seem to be comfortable with taking calculated risks. That's a good skill for investing in life. Yeah, I feel like you have to take risk in life. You know, being like comfortable, calculated, and always in index funds is completely fine as well. But I feel like if you're someone who started investing at 18, like that's the way to do it because you got like 40 years to let compound interest work. But I feel like I need to take a little more risk because I'm starting late. I only started to invest in my late 30s. So it wasn't always like that though. Um, there was a time I was terrified to even walk out the front door, much less put any kind of money on the line. But you have to separate yourself from the emotion of money. Like that's step one of investing is remove the emotion from your money. I was telling Mike that, even in the past month, I've had days where my entire account was down 10%. Like a single day, my entire account was down 10%. But like the week before, my entire account was up 15%. So like I'm still up overall, but I take massive hits. I'm in the same boat as you. I started late, but before I take on more risks, I'm just trying to learn more before I shift to growth. Perfectly valid mindset to have. Um, it took me a while of learning to get comfortable in doing this as well. Like it's not something I just started out doing. It took March, April was epic, so much growth. Yeah, my account at one point was up almost 30% in like a couple weeks. But over the last week I took a massive hit as did everyone. But it's this week's correction was needed so much. Like people get mad when their account goes down, but corrections are 100% necessary uh, for the market to continue to grow. You just can't panic on the days where it goes down, right? That's how people lose money is they don't take profits when they're up 25% and then the market goes down 15 and they panic and sell. But you have to have conviction in those stocks in order to do that, like long-term holds. I know people that buy stocks and then say they have conviction and then panic and sell and then they just let emotion rule their trading. Same, my Roth IRA was booming with about 20% gains. These corrections have been about 3%, so I'm still ahead. Yeah, that's the good thing about index funds is like a 3% hit in an index fund is huge. But, I can take 15% hits in a day. But if you're in an index fund, you're never getting 10% gains in a day either. So just kind of what you're more comfortable with. Maybe worth looking into. Like I don't know much about it. This is just something I heard, but SpaceX is IPOing and like pretty soon. I don't know exactly when. And there's been a lot of speculation about them just like overinflating and getting out all their angel investors at like high prices and that a lot of index funds are going to be buying the SpaceX IPO. And there's kind of some fear right now of like people's index funds dumping into SpaceX and then it just like tanking because it's way overvalued right now. I don't have an IRA though. I just invest my own money. But maybe that's just emotion talk. Personally, I'm trying to stay away from directly buying into it. I was watching an analysis comparing it to Coinbase. That's interesting. I don't know much about Coinbase's story. Was it something that was kind of similar, like overvalued and probably tanked and then maybe hit a bottom and bounced it from there? I feel like that's what SpaceX is going to do. The timing of it is kind of crazy too. Similar IPO story exactly. I gotcha. The timing of it too, with the new PDT rule changing is kinda crazy as well. Like, I haven't really seen anything about this, but, like, there's gonna be a lot of people who are probably, like, pretty new to trading with this new, like, $2,000 PDT rule instead of 25, and, like, they're gonna wanna try to hop in with, like, a $500 account and trade SpaceX on the IPO day and, like, get their 4 shares that they can afford and then probably lose, half their money because for some reason people think SpaceX is worth $2 trillion when it doesn't even make money right now. Like, I truly believe Starlink is the future of internet, but it's going to be a while before that's the case. And they lose money in every other facet of what they do. The rocket section loses money. The like every other thing they do loses massive amounts of money. They are bleeding money into the AI. Um, yeah, I don't know. Very unprecedented. Can see a lot of people getting burned if they're not careful. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like a lot of people without any that have no experience day trading are going to be trading the SpaceX IPO. I won't be trading it. I'm gonna be watching it closely though, because I think it's a great company for the future. I just don't think it's worth what they think it is right now. And that's not a very uncommon opinion. That's like the normal take, I feel like, is that that's a very smart call. Just let it do what it's gonna do. Like there's like a 0% chance that it doesn't at least go below what it IPOs at. So like buying it right away is crazy. And there's a chance it even, like, takes off for a day or 2, and then you're sitting here like, "Man, I missed it." But that's an even worse time to buy, in my opinion. That's emotion screaming at you right there. "I missed it." No, you didn't. It'll be back down. It always does. DCA is a very powerful tool, especially when you can allow yourself to trim at highs. If you can trim at highs and add in at lows, you can't lose. It's easier said than done though, and that's because of emotion. FOMO is the number one killer of traders. I used to be in a Discord, um, it was a quantum computing like information Discord where they traded like quantum computing things, and a lot of these guys in that channel um, were the most FOMO people I'd ever seen. Constantly buying at highs, screaming when the market was just doing a healthy correction, like the epitome of like emotional traders. RSI and the MACD to determine when to trim. Yep. I like the RSI. I used to use the MACD when I traded, but I don't really use it when I'm investing anymore. I mean, it's a good thing to just know. RSI is pretty accurate though for the most part. It's a good time when to know not to buy. If you see that RSI in like the 80s or whatever, there's probably going to be a correction coming tomorrow if that's the case. I don't really like I used to look at charts a lot, but I really don't look at charts that much anymore. I don't know if you have you ever heard of Chris Camillo? I respect him a lot. He's like a what's he call himself? An arbitrage trader where he doesn't trade like charts, he just trades like information. And I think that's like a smart way to trade. Especially with how like AI is like taking over trading. Like I don't think you can trust charts as much anymore because you can't out trade a bot and the bots trade on charts. So um haven't heard of him. He's like have you ever heard of Dumb Money? The podcast like Dumb Money. He's part of that. It's just like an investing podcast. He's really huge on Amazon right now. He thinks Amazon's going to be like the biggest company in the world, like with AI. Like I guess Amazon just has their hand in like every facet of AI. Like they own the data centers. They are developing AI. They got their hand in everything. Um, it might be on Spotify. I just follow him on X and watch some YouTube stuff every now and again. He may be on Spotify though. I'm sure it probably is. Everything's on Spotify these days. He's got a lot of good outlooks on the market and stuff too. And like his thing is he does like a thesis on his company and then he does like hundreds of hours of research and like looks into the opposing position and if he doesn't agree with the opposing position, he invests, and then he doesn't look at charts at all. When he determines when he exits a position is when the market at large agrees with his what his thesis is. And as he says, as soon as the market at large agrees with his thesis, that's when he exits his position. So he's like a complete he's been able to separate his emotion from trading like 100%. And you can just tell that by listening to him talk. He has like zero emotion. He's kind of like a robot when it comes to like trading and investing. And that's how you have to be successful. That's cool. I always like people who do their research and not just speculate to scare people. Like, and like, I don't know. I kind of feel like I have a pretty good intuition about people. I feel like I kind of just always have. And I just get a good feeling from him. Like he's not trying to sell you a course. He's not trying to make money from you. Like I genuinely feel like he just enjoys helping people. And so I mean those are the people like I flock to. That's a uh hard thing to find in the trading community is someone who is just genuinely trying to help you and not like get money from you. I don't generally trust anybody that sells courses. I know there are some good courses out there that are probably worth it, but there's way too many that are just scams. It'd be like me trying to sell a course on how to live in a car. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, it's obviously a little different because one's a money making scheme and one's a way of life, but I don't know. So many scams. That's why I'm talking or taking my time in my learning journey. I'm not rushing into quick wins. Yeah, generally quick wins are scams. 99.99% of the time. If it's easy to do, everybody would do it, and therefore it wouldn't be easy to do anymore. I gotta go check on the dogs real quick. Rocky's barking like a doofus. You know, I'm starting to think he's pretty smart. I think sometimes he just barks because when he barks, I go out there and like hang with him for a second. So when he's just like a little bit lonely, he just barks because he knows if he barks, I'll come out there. Because he was just like laying in the grass, like in the shade, just relaxing. He wasn't like looking at anything or anything. He's like in the morning, he's like my alarm clock because they eat. I feed them once in the morning, right when I get up, and then I feed them at like 5. So they eat twice a day, and like right around 7:30 every day, he'll start barking, and not like a bunch. He doesn't like go crazy. He'll just bark. He'll be like, "Burp," and then He'll wait like 30 seconds, and then he's like, so he's just like trying to wake me up, but not trying to annoy me. It's kind of funny. Dogs are smart. They know how to get what they want. He's a Malinois too, and Malinois are just like naturally smart dogs. Well, it's time for me to peace out. Always good chatting with you. Have a great day. Appreciate you hanging out as always. Always good talking to you. Probably the end of my day as well. 2.5 hours. I think it's my longest stream ever. Hope the rest of your day goes smooth. Peace. Anybody looks like there's somebody else out there. We got a lurker. You got any questions before I head out of here? Lurker man slash woman? Wonder if I can thumbs up my own stream. I cannot. All right. Well, I appreciate you lurkers anyway. You guys are cool. Um, come hang out next time. Peace.